why America is beautiful. Well, how about other countries? Are they not beautiful? Hello and welcome to Talk Chineasy, where we teach you Chinese with ease. My name is ShaoLan, and I'm going to teach you useful phrase of Chinese every day. In this episode, it's your Christmas. We're going to learn how to say the names of different countries. We have Melissa Bethell. Melissa, she is the Managing Director of Bank Capital, mother of 4. Hi, Melissa.
Hello, ShaoLan. 你好.
你好. Right, in your work and life as well, you have to travel quite a lot. And I know you are born in Taiwan and you moved to America. Should we start teach people how to say America?
Absolutely.
美国,
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 美国.
美 is beautiful. America is a beautiful country. And you probably guessed, 国 is country or kingdom. 美国,
美国.
And some people ask me why America is beautiful. Well, how about other countries? Are they not beautiful? It's actually not about the meaning, it's the sound. Because when of course the countries came up in the different centuries, Chinese people had to find a way to describe those countries. And America, it's sort of a different sound, a very difficult sound in Chinese. So they pick up America, similar sound to describe America. So they say it's beautiful country, 美国.
美国.
Yes. Then when they came across in the 18th, 17th century, when they came across other countries such as England, and they pick up England in the first syllables, then they say 英国,
英国,
to describe England. So 英国.
英国.
So let's guess what's France then. If we were the ancient Chinese people, and we first came across those people with beard and ginger hair coming from France. So what do we call them?
法国.
法国, exactly, yes. So 法国, that's France. And Germany, nowadays we call Germany, but in the olden days they call them Deutsch, right? So,
absolutely.
Deutsch. So Deutsch in a way, oh gosh, there's no similar sound like Deutsch in Chinese. So they came out with something called 德国.
德国.
德国. So now we have 4 countries. 美国.
America.
美国. 英国.
England.
英国. 法国.
France.
法国. 德国.
Germany.
Yay, that's Germany. And so let's guess now. 法国.
France.
Okay, I'm sure you know them. I'm just testing the audience. Okay, let's guess another one. 美国. Okay, 美国 is America. And how about 中国? Sorry, I didn't teach that one. 中国 is China. 中 is middle. Because Chinese people, they believed in ancient time, they believed they were the middle of the world. So the middle kingdom is 中国.
中国.
中国. All right. Character 国 is very interesting.
No, absolutely. I think in some ways, as you experience with Chineasy, the Chinese characters are full of history and meaning, and you can deduce, what the character is trying to describe by looking at its composition. And the word for country traditionally is written with almost a square on the outside, which signifies, a country with borders that
That's right.
One defends. And then inside, you would have under the old traditional language, individual pieces, of the strokes that would signify, what a country naturally did. I used to remember there was also in the olden way of writing it, a little ko inside.
That's right.
To signify, people, population.
That's right.
Open mouths.
Yes, that's from emperor's perspective, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So the character for country, 国, it's as Melissa described, it's like a border surrounded with a population inside. And in the simplified Chinese, there's a jade inside. Jade is the symbol in ancient China. Only like emperors or the noble families could could own because that was very precious, and that's the symbol for the ruling level, ruling class. So with the jade inside the surround, that's 国. Right. Since you travel so much, which country did you appreciate either for work or for holiday? They have very different culture.
But that's the beauty of, living at this moment in time and place of where we live. The world feels like it's become a lot smaller. When I think about, when I first moved to America as a 6-year-old over 30 years ago, you were lucky if you were able to travel back to China, once every 3 or 4 years. Now we seem to do it at least once a year, if not, more frequently for business and other type of means of being able to get, physically there. Living here in Europe also is such a blessing because you are able to, within a 2-hour flight, be in so many different countries and so many different cultures. And
languages.
And being able to introduce that to your children and also experience that firsthand. I feel very blessed to be living at the moment in time that we all live in some ways. I mean, a lot of that cultural sharing.
Yes. And then to describe the people, for example, people in America, and in English we say American. In Chinese, it's actually very straightforward. We just put 人 behind 美国. So if you want to describe your friends who are Americans, you say 美国人.
美国人.
How about people from France, French? We say
法国人.
法国人, 英国人, 德国人, 中国人. So all you need to do is to add 人, which is person or people, behind the name of the country. Easy.
Sounds so logical when you explain it.
It is logical. We say Chinese is easy. Thank you very much, Melissa, for sharing with us today. Thank you for listening to Talk Chineasy, where we teach you one useful phrase of Chinese every day. Today, we learn how to describe 5 different countries and people from those countries. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to rate us, review us, and be sure to share what you've learned. Until next time, 再见.
再见.